Battle Through the Heavens, Grand World. Chapter 262 Yuan Tianmu. The white tiger roared as it charged forward. A bright light flashed in its tiger eyes, as if it was going to tear the heavens and earth apart. Xiao Yan stood in the middle of it, and all the origin monarch ki on his body were surging towards the huge ice blade. Since he couldn't use the monarch flame, Xiao Yan immediately unleashed the strongest attack of the white tiger arts. Swoosh! The ice blade's might was shocking. It collided violently with the roaring white tiger. In an instant, ice and frost splashed in all directions. Like sharp blades, they shot out in all directions, piercing through the huge rock. The tremendous power could be seen from this. Roar! The white tiger faced the sky and let out a long roar. Its body arched. Its huge tiger arm forcefully withstood the ice blade. Its tiger eyes were glowing with a red light. Xiao Yan's expression was solemn. The origin monarch ki on his palm was rotating crazily, consuming the enormous energy of the ice blade. Li Yin furrowed his brows when he saw that his attack had been blocked. Then, he let out a ferocious laugh and let out a furious roar. His sleeves had been torn apart inch by inch, revealing his arms that were covered in ice. Both of his palms were extended forward with a loud bang. A vigorous origin monarch ki surged out. The attack that caused the ice blades to slow down suddenly became stronger, and it hacked open a bottomless crack on the ground. The cold air was horrifying. Xiao Yan's facial expression changed slightly. This force was really powerful. His eyes sparkled. Xiao Yan's arms were trembling slightly. Li Yin was one of the top 200 experts in the fierce ranking. He was an outstanding existence even amongst the emperors. Without the help of the monarch flame, he would be able to defeat Li Yin. With his current strength, it was true that he didn't have the intention to fight Li Yin. With this thought in mind, Xiao Yan's expression became grave. He suddenly bit the tip of his tongue. A golden blood instantly flew out from the tip of his tongue and dripped onto the origin monarch ki in front of him. In an instant, a golden light flashed within the origin monarch ki. The white tiger that was wailing suddenly erupted at this moment. It recovered its strength and once again charged at the ice blade that was attacking him. What a good kid. He forced out all the blood essence in his body. When Li Yin saw this, he instantly sneered. However, he was extremely shocked in his heart. A monarch spirit warrior was actually able to withstand his strongest attack for such a long time. If he were to grow up in the future, how could he? Hong Long. When he thought of this, the corner of Li Yin's mouth revealed a trace of ferociousness. The killing intent in his heart soared once more. All the origin monarch ki in his body were used, causing the ice blades to become even more solid and powerful. Woo! Xiao Yan frowned and clenched his teeth. He suddenly threw his palms forward and the white tiger behind him roared towards the sky. At the same time, Xiao Yan was also sent flying by the huge force. He somersaulted in the air a few times before he landed on the ground. The moment he landed on the ground, Xiao Yan suddenly stretched out his palm. The blue flame ruler had already appeared in his hand. The next moment, Xiao Yan rushed forward again. Li Yin's killing intent had already locked onto him. No matter where he ran to, it was useless. Now, he could only use the white tiger sky-shattering strike to completely shatter Li Yin's killing move. Ridiculous! Li Yin furiously shouted when he saw this. His body moved and he had already rushed out of the ice blade. Light flashed in his hand and a purple-blue metal rod appeared. The icy air on it rotated and carried an incomparable might. The ice blade also shattered the white tiger the moment Li Yin dodged. Following closely behind, Li Yin rushed towards Xiao Yan. Although the energy on it had been reduced by a lot, the power contained within it was still enough to shake one's mind. Bang! The sound of metal colliding suddenly exploded like muffled thunder. Li Yin retreated backwards in disbelief. His palm trembled slightly and the area between his thumb and index finger was split open. Fresh blood flowed out and dyed the metal rod in his hand, giving it an enchanting appearance. Heavenly weapon. Li Yin stared at the blue flame ruler in Xiao Yan's hand. His lips moved and he spat out two words with great difficulty. At the same time, he waved his palm and the rapidly charging ice blade slowly stopped. It seemed as if it had a spirit of its own as it stared at Xiao Yan like a tiger eyeing its prey. Who are you? Even in the capital of chaos, there were only a few people who possessed a heavenly weapon. All of these people were renowned figures. The man in front of him was merely a monarch spirit level, but he actually possessed a divine weapon. Li Yin had no choice but to worry about him. If he was a disciple of a major power, trouble would surely come to Kandri Group. As soon as this thought emerged in his mind, Li Yin's eyes suddenly focused. The hesitation in his eyes when he looked at Xiao Yan had turned into a ferocious look. No matter who he was, if he dared to provoke the Kandri Group, he would die for sure. Coincidentally, he also lacked a heavenly weapon as a weapon. Thinking of this, Li Yin no longer hesitated. He waved his palm and the ice blade roared as it rushed out once again, slashing through the space and rushing towards Xiao Yan. After taking Li Yin's attack head-on, the blood and qi in Xiao Yan's body started boiling. This fellow was much stronger than an ordinary emperor. If he didn't use all of his strength, he might really die here today. Xiao Yan's thoughts flashed rapidly when he saw the ice blades surging over. His eyes suddenly landed on the blue flame ruler in his hand. He hesitated for a moment before his expression became firm. He waved his hand and the blue flame ruler was placed horizontally in front of him. The origin monarch key surged into it. Numerous lightning threads leapt out like circulating lightning dragons. A powerful aura was suddenly emitted. Thunder Dragon Prison Domain. Xiao Yan's eyes focused. He suddenly swung the blue flame ruler. The lightning dragon on the ruler's surface swam and turned into a huge lightning dragon prison. It charged towards Li Yin with lightning-like speed. Heavenly Weapon Monarch Skill. Li Yin's expression changed slightly when he saw the Thunder Dragon Prison Domain. He immediately gritted his teeth and pushed both of his hands forward. The ice blades suddenly exploded, turning into thousands of sharp ice blades that shot towards the Thunder Dragon Prison Domain. Thousands of ice blades entangled with countless lightning dragons, creating endless rumbling sounds in an instant. Boom! An ear-splitting roar suddenly sounded. In the next moment, the tiny lightning dragons and ice blades that filled the sky turned into ashes and disappeared. Xiao Yan's body was suddenly sent flying amidst the rising cold fog. He turned his body with great difficulty in midair. The blue flame ruler in his hand was suddenly inserted into the ground. Only then did he slowly stop. A deep crack was formed on the ground where his feet had swept across. Bang! The instant Xiao Yan's body flew backwards, Li Yin was also thrown backwards in a miserable manner. His feet violently stepped on the huge rock behind him before he finally stopped. How is this possible, my profound ice movement technique? Li Yin's expression was gloomy. Both of his hands trembled slightly. Although he had lost quite a lot of energy from the white tiger earlier. Hong Long. Xiao Yan's face was somewhat pale. He held the blue flame ruler and slowly stood up. Suddenly, his expression changed. His sharp eyes swept across a pile of ruins not far away. There was a young man in a white robe standing there. The young man had black hair that draped over his shoulders. His face was like a warm jade. He was handsome and handsome. At this moment, he slowly withdrew his right hand and looked indifferently at Xiao Yan and Li Yin who were confronting each other. Clearly, Li Yin had also noticed this. He looked at the white-robed young man with a gloomy gaze. When he saw the young man's face clearly, his brows suddenly knitted. He gritted his teeth and said, "You are from the Yunluo Academy, Yuan Tianmu." Xiao Yan was also slightly startled when he heard this. He carefully looked at the white-robed young man. He had never heard of this Yuan Tianmu before. Tell me about Li Yin from the Kandri Group, but who is this guy? He is only a monarch spirit, but he is already so powerful. Even I have to use nearly 90% of my strength to separate all of you. The young man in white smiled and spoke in a relaxed tone. Li Yin looked around with an ugly expression on his face. A few of his trusted aides had fallen to the ground, but none of them had noticed him. Thinking of this, Li Yin looked at the former and said coldly, "What are you doing here? I don't think there has been any conflict between the Kandri Group and the Yunluo Academy these days." Xiao Yan looked at the white-robed young man quietly. His heart was slightly stirred. Just by standing in the distance, he was able to forcefully separate himself from Li Yin. If this ability was really possessed by the disciples of the Yunluo Academy. Perhaps, there were only 10 people in the realm in Valley. You have said that you have entered the fierce ranking of our academy. Do I need a reason to kill you? Yuan Tianmu smiled lightly and looked coldly at Li Yin. Although I am from realm in Valley, I need to kill at least the top 100 to qualify, but the top 100 are too hard to find. I happened to find you when I was passing by. With your profound ice movement technique, you can barely make it into the top 100. So, your head just so happens to be useful to me. Yuan Tianmu's face was full of smiles. He looked at Xiao Yan and slightly cupped his hands. Brother, let me have Li Yin's head. I will definitely compensate you. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.